Dad doesn't live here anymore. When my little sister and I arrived home from school a few months ago, we knew something was up. Dad's red Mercedes was in the driveway. He never gets home early from work. And then, when we got inside, the house was quiet. The TV was off, and Mum wasn't in the kitchen where she normally is preparing fruit and a drink for our afternoon tea. We dropped our bags and called for Mum. There was no answer. We called for Dad. There was no answer. There was not even a welcome home from Blondie, our golden retriever. Sally looked at me and said, "Nick, I'm scared." "Where is everyone?" "I don't know, Sally." I replied, "Let's find them." We set off down the hallway calling for Mum and Dad. Suddenly their bedroom door flew open and Dad came out. He looked angry, really angry. He brushed past us without saying anything. We kept walking until we got to the open door of our parents' bedroom. We saw Mum. She was sitting on the floor at the foot of their bed crying really loud tears. We'd never seen her so sad. "What's wrong?" I asked. Mum looked at us through her tears and said, "There's something Dad and I need to tell you." Sally ran over to her, fell into her lap, and putting her arms around Mum's neck said, "Don't cry, Mummy." All I could think was that something in our family was about to change, and I didn't know what. "Let's go out to the kitchen," said Mum as she stood up and dried her tears. Dad was already there, sitting at the kitchen bench. He was looking a little calmer than he was before. Mum said to him, "It's time. The kids need to know." "You're right," said Dad. "Here, guys, sit down." Dad looked at Mum and said, "Do you want to tell them, or shall I?" "You made the decision. You tell them." Now Mum sounded angry. "Okay," said Dad, sounding more scared now than anything. "Mum and I have decided to separate." "What does that mean?" asked Sally, while still holding on to Mum. Mum answered this time. "It means that Dad is going to live somewhere else." Sally looked puzzled. "Where are you going to live?" "Did I do something wrong? Is it my fault?" "No," said Mum. "It's not yours or Nick's either." She looked at Dad. He said, "It's my fault. I've met someone else and I want to live with them." Sally started to cry and I just stared at all of them in disbelief. That was the last time we were together as a family. Things got very messy after that. Dad moved out that same day and we didn't see him much for a while. I really missed him, and Sally said she did too. Often late at night we'd wake up hearing Mum on the phone yelling at Dad, and knew that Dad was probably yelling at Mum as well. Sally would come to my bedroom and we'd cuddle up together till we got back to sleep. Through all this time we found out that Mum and Dad had not been happy with each other for a while. Mum found out that Dad had a new friend who he was now living with. Mum said she didn't want us spending time with Dad while this new friend was around. Sally and I didn't understand any of it. We just wanted our family back. A couple of weeks later, Mum said we were going to meet someone who could help us figure out the best way to solve our problems. Mum said that she and Dad had already been to see this lady, and now it was our turn. What do we talk to her about? I asked Mum when we were on our way. Don't worry about that. The lady will help with that too. We arrived at her office. There were comfy chairs, some toys, a whiteboard with a big drawing pad on it, and lots of coloured pens. We talked to the lady and drew pictures about how we felt about what had happened to our family. She asked us what we most wanted Mum and Dad to know and wrote down every word we said. We were with her a long time, and at the end she said, "I'll tell Mum and Dad what you've said to me, and we'll see what happens." I asked, "Can you help our family get back together?" She said in reply, "Probably not, but hopefully we can get Mum and Dad talking nicely to each other again." I can't make any promises, but let's see how it goes. She gave us a card with her name and phone number on it and said we could call her anytime. I don't know what she said to Mum and Dad, but after that we started seeing Dad a few days every week, and Mum said we would spend time together as a family on our birthdays and at Christmas. It seemed they got the message that even though they are not married anymore, they are still our parents. Dad didn't come back home, and his new friend is now his wife. Mum still cries sometimes, but we've gotten used to that as well. And while we may not be living as a family in one house, things are okay for Sally and me. We know our parents love us, and they never wanted to not be our parents. Most importantly, we are still a family.